You think you can take me? Come on.
All right, 1937, at Todd Field, and the ball, I kicked your ass after football practice when you stole my liniment.
You kicked my
Jack
ass.
Lemmon and Walter Matthau.
Believe me, this man is a menace. He's always drinking, starting fights. Isn't that right?
They're both grumpy old men.
Why don't you do the world a favor and pull your lip over your head and swallow?
Idiot.
Eat my shorts. So what?
But after 50 years
What?
of fighting over nothing,
What?
What?
So?
What?
they finally found something
Holy. Oh, my God. Moly.
worth fighting for.
See, women get obsessed with me. It's like one of them fatal attraction things.
On my shirt. My shirt so sexy. It hurts.
Just beautiful. Thank you.
Jack Lemmon,
Your cat crapped on my steps again.
Yeah, who says you can't train a cat?
Walter Matthau,
Why would a woman come over at 1:30 in the morning to see you?
Just why do you think, bonehead?
My car.
Ann-Margret,
John, when was the last time you made love?
October 4th, 1978.
grumpy old men.
If I knew there was a nude scene in this picture, I would have asked for another.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and it looks like Chuck is taking his log to the beaver. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
You mount the woman, son.
We are dorking out about 1993's Grumpy Old Men. It's directed by Donald Petrie, Petrie, however you want to pronounce it. Either one sounds right to me. Who also did Mystic Pizza and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which I believe we've done episodes on both of those.
We have. He has a good record for comedies.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's just he has a good record for comedies. And also, I think a couple of the movies that he did have a lot of heart to them.
They do. And is written by Mark Steven Johnson, who has written a lot of, comedies and rom-coms. But the most recent one was called Love in the Villa on Netflix, and it's not very good. Just saying. Because I watched it and I really wanted to like it, but not so much. This stars Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, Ann-Margret, Burgess Meredith. So funny in this movie. Daryl Hannah, adorable, everybody drink. Kevin Pollak, Ozzie Davis, Buck Henry.
Oh, my God.
And I totally forgot that Christopher McDonald was in this. Playing the Christopher McDonald role. Like,
the dick.
He's so good at playing a dick. He's just so good at, this dude isn't like dick to the extreme, like a Happy Gilmore or Thelma and Louise, but he is so good at playing a dick. Let's talk about so this was your birthday pick, because Margot's birthday's coming.
March 29th, everybody. Just,
mark your calendars.
Write that down. Mark your calendars.
So we're recording this one a little early because we're doing another show next week. That's something different. So anyway, why did you want to do Grumpy Old Men?
I saw this movie Christmas Day.
Yes.
1993 with my sister. And I think we were in Dublin. I don't think it was the San Ramon one theater. This is all Bay Area references, by the way. But my sister and I used to go. She worked in restaurants and I worked in retail during college. And we both had, during Christmas time, Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, were like the one days to just chill out.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyway, we would go to the movies. And this is one of my favorite movies that we saw. And she loved it too. We were both just talking about it. And then 6 or 7 months later, when it was on VHS, it became my parents' favorite movie. So It's just, I owned it. I recorded it. I had that VHS tape. I bought the DVD when it came out. And I don't know what it is about it. First of all, I just love Jack Lemmon to pieces.
Same.
I think Ann-Margret is luminous.
Yes.
in this movie. She's a goddess. And I think Walter Matthau is so fucking funny.
Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, I mean, they are like a magic combination for sure. And I love both of them so much.
Especially, just their comedic timing.
Yes.
And they're such great actors on top of that. Like, it's just, and Burgess Meredith, we've talked about Burgess Meredith on this show, but he's such a great old man weirdo character, like Lech.
Just a dirty old man.
And he does it well.
Yes, like just a dirty old man. And I was watching him in this movie and thinking, I kind of hope I'm like that when I'm that age. I want to be like drinking early and saying shitty things, and people are like, fuck it, she's super old, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Well, especially, I was like, because both of my parents died when they were 74. I've decided, because I used to be a smoker, like if I make it to 74, I think I would take up smoking again. And I'm just gonna, because the rest of it's just generous time thrown at me. Fuck it.
And he's there's a whole thing that was my line from the beginning where he Ozzie Davis is like going into Ann-Margret's house and he's spying on them, and Burgess Meredith just says, like, he says something about like, he's taking
the old one eye
to the optometrist or whatever. And it's just like such a fucking weird thing to say, but it's funny. And then of course the movie has bloopers at the end, and you see that like he did a whole bunch of different ones. And this movie played at my theater, so I watched the ending credits like a million times because you're like cleaning the theater and it's playing. And his shit always made me laugh. Always. Like every time there's the one about the beaver. There's the one about he's taking the skin boat to Tuna Town.
Tuna Town. He's a tomcat on the prowl. Meow.
And he goes,
he's just everything.
He's putting the hot dog in the bun. Like,
there's something about old people really inappropriate, not giving a shit, that's invigorating, because there's a lot of death talk in this movie. So it's
so much. Oh my God, there's so much dick talk with this movie, and there's like, it's like, I've laid more pipe than the plumber in this town.
In Wabasha.
I'm like, you're a bunch of gross, dirty men who probably smell like fish, but it is really, really. This movie's really funny. You
don't see people this age just getting to be human.
Yeah.
It's like they usually just play the grandpa and he walks in and he walks out of a scene.
Yes.
Like these are just full people that had full lives. They'd been friends for so long. It's a great idea to have them like live next door to each other and like be like friends since they were kids. And of course they fought over a woman.
Yes.
And the twist is that the woman wasn't really great.
She wasn't that great. He's like, because the whole idea is that Jack Lemmon's character, like, quote unquote, stole a woman from Walter Matthau, which you don't really steal people, but whatever.
No, it's a little dated of a concept, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. And, it turns out that the woman Jack Lemmon, quote unquote, stole, wasn't that great. Like, she cheated on him. They didn't have a great happy marriage, and Walter Matthau's actually had a really happy marriage.
Right.
And so he's like, basically, I did you a favor, but he doesn't think of it that way. And they have been fighting for like 50 years over this thing, but they still live next door to each other, and they call it's like, hello, dickhead. Hello, putz. Yeah.
Moron.
They're so mean to each other. Like throwing.
But there's so much love there.
You can tell.
There's so much love that it's what you have when you know somebody that well.
Yeah.
And their kids are friends. Well, so the Walter Matthau has a son who's Kevin Pollak.
Yes.
And then Daryl Hannah, who's wearing knitwear that is so cute and so cozy.
She's always. I mean, she's gorgeous no matter what.
I mean, she just can wear anything and look great. So they were in high school. He looks a little older than her, but okay. But he had a crush on her, but she's estranged. It's a very short timeline. It's like just between Christmas and New Year. I mean, Thanksgiving and New Year. But she was with a guy, Michael McDonald. That would be amazing.
What a fool believes.
Oh keep forgetting we're not in love anymore. That was pretty good.
Oh my God, I wish it was Michael McDonald. That would be amazing. But it's Christopher McDonald,
who I adore. I love Christopher McDonald. He's always good at what he does. But he's the husband that, he wants her daughter. He married someone, and eventually, like another story that we have, Jack, that breaks my heart. And the older I get, the more I think about, I'm like, God, that really is a pickle. Like, he used to be a high school teacher. You get the idea they divorced, because she cheated on him. Also, a subplot is that she worked part-time when he was working.
Yeah.
And they didn't declare some of the money for taxes. And so it's like $13,000, but because of penalties, it's like 60 grand or something.
Yeah, so fucked up.
It's just so fucked up. It's like, go after the fucking corporations. This is where,
America sucks.
It really does. We don't need to focus them on but here, I'm like, how is he supposed to pay for that, right? Yeah. And how is he? And I can understand, like, you're in your 70s now. You want to he just wants to fish every day. It's the middle.
Seriously,
you feel the cold.
Yes. It feels so cold, and like, and they just want to live their lives. And he is dodging Buck Henry, the IRS agent who keeps like showing up. And I mean, this is a very real problem. Like, older people get thrown out of their homes, and some live on the streets, some move into like really shitty like senior communities where
if you're lucky,
in those communities,
you have family that could take you in, but who wants that?
Exactly. So it is a real thing.
It's a real thing, especially at the time. The IRS, they're a little better now. I should be clear, like, if the IRS is listening to this conversation, but they had a reputation in the 80s and 90s. I saw a documentary about this, like really being aggressive for like low hanging fruit.
Yes. Like,
and
very low hanging fruit.
Yeah. Like 13 grand should not be, no one should be showing up at your house over that. Like, that just seems ridiculous. But anyway, so they go fishing on the lake together. Burgess Meredith has his thing.
Yes.
And he's always getting his Camel cigarettes and a 6-pack of beer. I want to hang out with these people. I know it's cold.
He's drinking all the time. Just like, it's like 10 in the morning, and he's got a flask and he's drinking, which I assume you do because, one, it's fucking freezing. So you want it to like keep you warm, but also he's old and he's like, I don't care. I made it this far without lung cancer. I'm smoking. Yeah.
I'm gonna fish. I'm gonna flirt with every woman that's around me.
He does. But Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau don't seem to. They do establish that they are both quite set in their ways.
Yes.
But they are also lonely. Like,
and you could feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're eating their microwave dinners and. Which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with microwave dinners. They're delicious.
No.
But, I think that's how they're trying to establish for us that they're lonely. But they're also, Jack Lemmon plays chess by himself. Like, they're lonely. And
these are pre-internet times, too.
And then when Ann-Margret moves in.
And she's like, oh, my God, middle of the night on her snow machine, like driving around the neighborhood. And then she takes off the helmet and this big red hair comes out.
She's
and
gorgeous.
You're just like, oh my God, she's just like an angel. Yes. And it's like, and I'm sure people at the time were like, Ann-Margret, she used to be hot in the 60s. Like, she can't.
Those people, if they still don't think she was hot in it, that's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. She's super hot, but she's from California, which I'm from California. You still in California.
Yeah.
It is a thing. Like, when you go outside of California, you're like, oh, this one's from California. Like, you're Northern California,
Definitely.
Especially.
We're weirdos.
You're a big weirdo. Yeah. Yeah. We have some weird in us. Yeah, I get it. And they're in the Midwest, and they're in this little town. She moves in. She's a widow. She lost her husband. She's an artist. I don't know if she has kids. She does the thing that I love the fact that Walter Matthau was a TV repairman. Like,
of course he was.
That was his job. Like, that was a job.
It's so funny. Like, he goes into her house and she's got the fishbowl and the TV, and he's like, oh, like, how could you do that to this like vintage Zenith, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I like it just the way it is. And he's like, how does she watch her shows?
I'm with him on that. That's what they got.
I get it.
Yeah, but I get what she's doing. I mean, it's but she's an artist, and she's teaching the classics. She taught art. Now she's teaching like English or something.
Yeah.
Expressionism. So she's very flirtatious.
She's very flirtatious. Yeah.
You know, I mean, look, she's this gorgeous redhead that exudes this great energy. People are attracted to her everywhere she goes. And I would be too. Like you wouldn't be able to not notice her. But I forgot to mention the Ozzie Davis.
Yeah.
Of it all. So he's Gus, and he runs the fishing place where they sell their worms. Well, where are you going to get worms in the middle of winter?
I'm like, if I was her, I would pick Chuck. I would pick Ozzie Davis. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I would totally go on a date with Ozzie Davis.
Are you kidding me? I was in an elevator with him once, and that was exciting for me. Yeah. He was at CNN. I took an editor there.
Oh, my gosh.
And I know, and I looked at him, and I wanted to think of something that he'd been in, and your mind blanks.
Yeah.
And I said, hi, because I wanted to say The Stand, which is kind of a dumb thing to say.
Well, I don't think it is, but
he just said, yes, I'm still alive. I'm still here. Very tall guy.
He looks tall, but yes,
yeah.
he makes his play. He goes over to Ann-Margret's house to like have
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, have Thanksgiving, and that's when Walter. It's so funny because both Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon's characters are both like they are interested in her, but they're pretending that they're not. Like, because they're
shy. They're shy.
They're shy.
Nervous.
They're both set in their ways. They probably haven't talked to a woman romantically in a long time. So, but then they see Ozzie Davis over there, like being fucking cool, man. He showed up with his flowers and a bottle of wine
and a nice coat. And
yeah,
everything.
I was like, get it, Ozzie Davis. And that's when they're both like, ah!
And then this whole scene where they both like shower and shave, and they see. I love how they show up at his place at the next day, the store.
Yes,
and they're like rushing to get there.
They want the hot gas.
Yes,
they want the gas.
And he just says that she made him feel alive. Like they didn't have sex or anything, but that she just made him feel special.
Right.
Because that's what Ariel does. Like she's just very ethereal. She makes people feel important. And so sad to say that Gus dies.
Yeah.
Which sort of, and then that's when and so that's sort of like for them, like they're both so upset about that. Also, she goes on a date with, Walter Matthau.
Yeah.
I love the blooper where he goes across the street and goes, hi, I'm Ronald Reagan. I live right across the street. I was a lousy actor.
I was a lousy actor and I was a lousy president. Can I come in? Blah, 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 blah. It's so funny. But like they have a good time on their date, but like it's true that they really don't have anything in common. Like he takes her fishing and she's like, oh, I get it. Like, this is really fun. All the stuff where like she lets the fish go and he just wants to get a picture. And she's like, okay, in the water you go. And he's like, no. Like, that would be me. I would totally catch a fish and let it go.
Oh, yeah. Because I think, but once she holds it in her arms, she's like, I can't kill this thing. No. Because he wants to mount it on the wall.
Yes.
I mean, also, she tells him very clearly, like, we'd be great friends.
Yes.
And you and I've both had to say this to people.
Yes.
At some point, like, you are such a good friend, which is not an insult, but it's also the boundary. And I will say, like, back when I saw this movie the first time, I probably was like, she's being too nice to Walter. Yeah, and that's why he's thinking that, and she should probably be more direct. But now, which is ridiculous because I watch it now as a grown-ass woman, and I'm like, she was quite direct. Yeah. She said, like, we are going to be good friends. Like, she makes it very clear. I think that, clearly the movie hasn't changed. I have changed. So I'm like, she makes it clear. But she has way more in common with Jack Lemmon's character. They are both teachers. Like, they talk about books and art, and he's Jack Lemmon. He's youthful. He's very charming. He's super charming and youthful, and he does the snow angels with her. Yeah. And he's more on her level. Yeah. He's a little bit older than her. And then Daryl Hannah makes a thing of like, look, you're handsome, you got a house, you got a pension, and all that is weighing on him because debt will do that to you. Yes. weigh you down. He's like, I have nothing for her. And so he banishes her because he's embarrassed.
Well,
and he's,
it's so silly, like, because there's a whole thing where Walter Matthau's like, you're going to lose your house and you have nothing to support her. And I'm like, she's fine. Like, she doesn't need Jack Lemmon to support her again. Like, she's living her best life. And she likes him. And
so Jack Lemmon kind of spurns her away. So then she's hanging out with Walter Matthau. And she just moved there, and I'm sure she doesn't know a ton of people. But then Matthau and Jack Lemmon meet at the Slippery Rod or Slipperies.
I love that they're just like, I'm walking to the bar, and they like, the bar's like, I don't know, on their street. Like, I was like, that's a part of me is like, do I want that? Do I want a bar on my street where I could just go and like all the neighbors are there and we're all drinking? Or is that terrible? Would I want to go to a bar and be alone? I think
there's two different kinds of people.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, my family in Long Island, that was like a thing for almost a century, like running bars, or they had cousins that ran bars. So. Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're having an argument at Slippery's, and Jack Lemmon walks home, starts to walk back, and then Walter Matthau comes after him because the kids are telling him, "Come on, make up, be friends. You've known each other a long time." And poor Jack Lemmon has a heart attack.
We don't want that for Jack Lemmon. By the way, I think the year before this, he did Glengarry Glen Ross, which is the fucking saddest.
I know.
Jack Lemmon performance of all time. Like, it's so heartbreaking, and like, we don't want anything bad to happen to Jack Lemmon.
No, we want him in drag with Tony Curtis or with Shirley MacLaine.
Yes, in The Apartment. Or I watched over the holidays, I think it's called like Book and Candle or something with Jimmy Stewart, and he plays like a warlock in it. He falls in love.
Bell, Book, and Candle?
Bell, Book, and Candle. That's what it was. And it's got Jack Lemmon in it. And he plays like a warlock or something. And he's so funny in it. He's so funny.
We also did the 3 Mile Island movie. What's it called? The
China Syndrome.
The China Syndrome. He's great in that. So he's always really good.
He's always good.
And him and Walter Matthau. So Walter Matthau gets him to the hospital. And and it's so sad to see him there, and you could see the love and the friendship that they have for each other.
Yes.
And then Walter Matthau is being generous. He brings Ariel over because he realizes like they love each other.
Yeah.
She really loves him. And then she says to him, it breaks my heart because she's like, I lost my husband at Easter and lost somebody else at another time. She goes, if I lose you, it's only going to leave me Thanksgiving, and I really don't like turkey. And I'm like, I know how you feel, girl. Like, certain holidays are like, no, please.
No, it's very sweet. It's very sweet.
And then they get married in the spring.
It's so funny to me that they get married. I'm like, why would you? Like, but you're old and you want to make that commitment. Of course they do. But in my head, I was like, really? But yes, of course they do. Of course they get married.
They're in love.
And they're in love. They're in love.
They're in love, and he wants to like spend his twilight years with somebody he really loves and be with her every day.
Exactly.
I'm on board with that. And Walter Matthau pays the debt for him. The whole Buck Henry-ness of it too, we forgot. There's a lot of pranks on Buck Henry because he's being a dick. So we're all on board with that. We're okay with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff in the movie. It's a lot of, dumping water on the roof so that all the snow comes down and like traps people, leaving dead fishes in cars. A whole like thing about like Walter Matthau drags Jack Lemmon's ice shanty thing out on the ice and like destroys it.
Drowns it. I know. I was like, that's a dick move.
Yeah, I was like, you could have killed someone. That's not as funny, but there's a lot of that.
But it's over the top, and it's very sweet. And in the end, they get married, and then Walter Matthau's like, $10, you can't get it up on the ice.
And then Walter Matthau's like, there's a dance going on at the, whatever, some club or something. And he's like, I'm going to go down there and try my luck or whatever. And then Kevin Pollak sees Daryl Hannah like through the window, and she invites him over, and they're gonna get together because she's left her Christopher McDonald husband, her Michael McDonald husband. And she's like, oh, sweet freedom.
Shine a light on me. And that's the movie. And then they go to the credits, and it's all the blooper reel.
Yeah.
And it's like, first of all, it's Burgess Meredith being filthy and hilarious.
So it's so, you know what it is? I think this is what Margot thinks is really funny, because you also responded to this in Ruthless People. You think dirty old men are funny. The whole thing with Danny DeVito, and he's like, I don't have time for a poke in the whiskers. And then there's just like a whole section of Burgess Meredith saying these things that are all just like that, that are really funny.
They're funny, though. When super old people are being filthy, I think it's hilarious. I say good for you.
You are so funny. But the outtakes are funny.
And there's a lot of Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau like goofing on their lines, and the affection they have for each other is really sweet to watch.
Yeah, I looked it up. They made 10 movies together. I haven't seen a lot of these, and I'm like, I've never seen The Fortune Cookie. Have you seen that one?
No.
Okay, I haven't seen that one, and I haven't seen The Front Page, which I know people actually really like, but the original Odd Couple with them is one of my favorite comedies.
It's fantastic. It's perfect.
It makes me laugh really, really hard every time I watch it. Like, the delivery of every line in the original Odd Couple is fucking perfection. But they also did something called Buddy Buddy. They were in JFK together with Oliver Stone's JFK.
I think they were in different scenes.
I mean, they were in the same movie, but I don't think they were.
There's like 20 people in the JFK movie.
They're not being hilarious together. Did you see Grumpier Old Men?
Yeah, it's not as good.
No,
it's okay. It's got Sophia Loren,
yes,
but who's beautiful and
yes.
and great, but it's like she wouldn't go for a Walter Matthau. This woman could get.
She's Sophia fucking Loren.
Exactly.
Yeah, correct.
So it's kind of it's not as funny.
Yeah.
I just think it's like this. It's filmed on location in Minnesota. You could feel the Minnesota-is of it. It's just so Midwestern, so cold. People are really friendly. It's just the whole culture of the fishing and the ice fishing, and when they're all fighting and everybody's running, jumping around like, yeah, fight. Just breaks up the day. And Burgess Meredith just like, goddamn kids.
He keeps calling them kids. It's hilarious. It's like
it's just
they're in their 70s. He's in his 90s or something. So therefore,
exactly. Kids. But I think there's so much heart to this movie.
There is.
There's really a lot of sweetness to it, but it's also really, really laugh out loud funny.
Yeah,
it holds up.
It absolutely holds up. I really enjoyed watching it, and I hadn't seen it in a long time, so it was a really good pick.
Oh, thank you.
Do you want to hear some other 93 movies?
I certainly do.
Okay. We've done 93 a few times, so sorry if I've mentioned these before, but I really tried. Falling Down.
I do not like Falling Down.
I also do not like Falling Down.
No, I was young and I knew it was bullshit.
I'm like, I wanted to like it real bad, but I just didn't. And this one I liked despite myself. Summersby.
I've never seen it.
It's dumb. It's dumb. It got Richard Gere and Jodie Foster and
that one. Oh
yeah.
God. No chemistry.
No. But I still like it. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, fine. No, it's a period piece.
It played at my theater. I don't know, something about it. Swing Kids.
I liked Swing Kids.
I also liked Swing Kids. Haven't seen it since the theater though.
Yeah.
Benny and June.
People really love that movie.
Okay, I'm like, I want to be very careful. I think when I first saw it, I liked Benny and June. And then when I saw it again, I was like, I don't like this movie.
No, and I think I liked it the first time, and then I went back to it. I'm like, oh no, there's a lot wrong here.
Yeah, and then of course it's got the song. I would walk 500
500 miles, and I would walk 500 more.
Couldn't get away.
When I get up,
You couldn't get away from that song. You
No.
couldn't. Okay, a few more. Needful Things.
really bad, but it's watchable. It's an okay Stephen King book.
Okay.
It's trashy, but fun. But the movie is wowzers.
That's Ed Harris, right?
Oh yeah, Bonnie
Okay.
Bedelia.
All right. I like those people.
Oh yeah, it's worth watching. It's just bananas.
Okay. Cool Runnings.
I love Cool Runnings.
I know people. I know. I've seen it. Other people love Cool Runnings. It's got a very devoted fan base. Shortcuts.
Don't like Shortcuts. I know.
I
I'm not a big Altman person.
like parts of Shortcuts. I remember liking part of it. I remember you see Huey Lewis's dick in it. Do you remember that?
Well, isn't it also? It's also Julianne Moore's Bush. Is that in that one?
Yes.
No.
She's arguing with Matthew Modine or something, and she's not wearing any pants or skirt or underwear or anything, but she's wearing a top but nothing underneath. And I'm sure this was by design, but I remember the whole time I was like, I can't even hear what she's saying. Because the whole time I'm like, she's naked, she's naked, she's naked, she's naked. There's something wrong with me. I don't know. Maybe I could rewatch it and have a different reaction. A few more. Demolition Man.
It's enjoyable.
It is enjoyable. This movie played at my theater. It was so long. Gettysburg.
Is that the one with Matthew Broderick?
That
And
is Glory.
okay.
Gettysburg, I think, had Jeff Daniels in it, and this shit was 4 hours long.
Oh no, thank
It was
you.
so long. And the last one is Wayne's World 2.
I'm not a big fan of Wayne's World 2. I really love the first one.
There's stuff in the second one that makes me laugh, but overall, it doesn't make me laugh like the first one.
I actually, before we get to the top 10,
Yeah.
I actually on IMDb you can have the quotes from the movie.
Yeah.
John Gustafson bragging about his sexual escapades. I've laid more pipe in this town than Wabasha Plumbing.
I'm like, no, he hasn't.
And then one of my favorites, Max Goldman. When I had my ulcers, I was farting razor blades.
So gross.
That makes me laugh.
They're gross old men. This movie could be called Gross Old Men. So funny.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the top 10. Oh, here we go. Okay, top 10. Ready?
Yes.
December 25th, 1993. Michael Bolton said I loved you, but I lied. My mother fucking loved Michael Bolton. It was my dad was going to leave her at some point. He was just like, I can't listen to this
No
shit.
more Michael
For
Bolton.
one more
This
note.
is no Michael McDonald.
No, that would have been much preferred. This is the world is changing, y'all. Number 9, Snoop Doggy Dogg, What's My Name?
Song is red. I love that
It's a rad song.
on one station you could hear Michael Bolton followed by Snoop Dogg.
Yep. Tony Braxton, Breathe Again.
I fucking love Tony Braxton.
Yeah, me too. Oh, I love this song. Salt and Pepper, Shoop.
I love that song. Listen to it all the time still. It's so good.
DRS, Gangsta Lean. I'm pouring my 40. my homies. Okay, number 5. All for Love. Bryan Adams, Rod Stewart, and Sting.
Okay, that is from The Three Musketeers, which is
Yep.
totally on our list. That song is ridiculous. Was it all for one and all for love? It's so cheesy. So cheesy.
So cheesy. Speaking of cheesy, Meatloaf. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
That song.
A question or a thing he refuses to embellish on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we
Number 3.
ever know what he wouldn't do? We don't know.
If any of y'all know, please let us know.
Yeah.
Please. Number 3, I love this. Ace of Base, All That She Wants.
Ace of Base is fucking catchy shit.
That's some catchy shit. I love this. Number 2, Janet Jackson, Again.
I always love Janet Jackson. Always. And that's a great one too.
Number 1, Mariah Carey, Hero. Yeah, I know it's not my favorite Mariah.
But that song was insanely popular. Like,
she had hit after hit after hit for a while there in the 90s.
Correct.
Well, she would argue that she still does,
but it's always the Christmas song.
And you know what? Good for her. She figured it out.
Yeah.
She figured out how to make something super fucking catchy for decades. People would have to play all day, and she gets paid.
It
laughs
works.
at us.
It works. I listen to it every holiday season. It worked on me.
Me too. I don't get the haters, but whatever.
Some people are just grumpy old men, Margot.
I think so too. I'm gonna be like Grandpa in the shack. Or was it Misty or whatever her name that sells the cigarettes and beer?
Oh, what is her name?
I could do that.
Girl, that's my new gig.
That's my gig where, really old men flirt with me.
Why not?
Why not?
We used to get old men who would come into the theater and always, like, I don't know, hang around the popcorn counter and chat you up for a bit. And I was like, they're just lonely. It's fine. Ain't no thing.
Yeah, if nobody's being rude. I mean,
no, they
totally
were. They weren't being like Burgess Meredith. They weren't like, "Hey, I'd like to put my hot dog in your bun" or whatever. They're just making chit chat.
You mount her, son, or if you can't do it, you send her to me.
So dirty old man. What else are you dorking out about, my friend?
I had a lot of reading to do and stuff for other shows, so my list is pretty sparse. I watched Ted Lasso.
Me too.
I'm really glad that it's back.
I'm so happy it's back. I missed it.
I totally missed it. And I don't really have anything else that we haven't like Shrinking is still great.
I love Shrinking so much.
And Daisy Jones, that's on my thing for tomorrow night to catch up.
Same. I'm an episode behind on Daisy Jones, and I'm an episode behind on Drag Race, but I did make it a point to watch the new Ted Lasso. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't remember that Roy Kent and the woman what's her name?
I can't remember. Sorry.
That I didn't remember that they had did they break up at the end of the last season? Because in this season they started with them broken up, and I didn't remember that. So maybe I should have gone back and watched the finale. But that bummed me out. I hope that doesn't stick because I like them together.
It's an interesting idea because one of the coaches now is at another team. Yeah. And he's being a total meanie because he's under all this pressure, and you just can't. When it comes to a press conference, Ted does it better than anybody.
He does. And it's Nate is playing for a rival. He's coaching a rival team. He is reporting to Rupert, which is the evil ex, and he clearly has daddy issues. Nate does. And he just, he goes to social media for validation, and just watching this character who was so sweet at the start of season 1 turn into this real prick, but yet there's still a little bit of sympathy for him. Yeah, I mean, he's got to turn it around. That's just the kind of show Ted Lasso is, but it's kind of sad to watch, but it's such a good show. Yeah. I love Ted. I also watched my Pedro Pascal obsession continues, and I watched The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, the Nicolas Cage movie where he plays himself. Did you see this movie?
I don't know this. No.
Okay, it is called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Nicolas Cage plays himself, who he's just not getting the roles that he wants, so he takes this job to appear at some rich guy's birthday party in Colombia or something. And he goes, and the rich guy is Pedro Pascal playing a man named Javi. And the FBI then taps Nicolas Cage to like spy on Javi because they think he's like a guns dealer or something like that. And Javi's actually this like really sweet guy who like super loves movies and like loves Nicolas Cage and like is like a huge fan of his. And they develop this like bromance. And I don't want to spoil the rest, but it actually made me laugh out loud a few times. Like,
Okay.
But you definitely have to like Nicolas Cage. If you don't like Nicolas Cage, this movie is not for you because he is playing like an exaggerated version of himself. And so Nicolas Cage could be an acquired taste for people.
Patrick Bromley of F This Movie worships Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he loves this film.
I don't remember if he said he liked it or not, but I thought it was funny. I thought Pedro Pascal's really funny in it. Tiffany Haddish is in there, and oh my God, what's that other guy's name? The guy who was in like the Mindy Project. Sorry, everybody.
Sorry, I'm not remember.
What's his name? God damn it. It's like, sorry, everybody. Anyway, another funny dude is in it. Ike Barinholtz.
Oh, he's been in a million things. He was on Howard Stern a few weeks ago. It was really funny.
Yeah, he was in like the movie Sisters, and like he always
was on Celebrity Jeopardy, right? He won on Celebrity Jeopardy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he's really smart.
Oh, okay. Well, he's in there too. So there's definitely some funny stuff. My obsession with Pedro Pascal will continue. I will find other things to watch, but but that was a good one. My sister recommended it to me, and it was a good choice.
Did we want to mention that all of you that love Adam Risky, when he's a guest on the show, we were on his vlog or YouTube show.
Yes.
Right? For F This Movie, reserved seating, and it just came out. And Sonia and I, we talked about our they gave us different drive-in picks for different days in like 88, like in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
We picked the double bill that we would go to, and this is where you found out that I really like Police Academy movies.
How long have I been talking to Margot? Like practically every day for years.
For like 4 years.
And
yeah,
I did not know that Margot has this soft spot for the Police Academy movies. I had no idea. I learned something on this, but it was really fun. It's called Reserve Seating. It's on F This Movie's website. It's on their YouTube channel if you actually want to see us, because we are actually all in Zoom doing the thing.
Doing the Zoom thing.
Yeah.
Doing the Zoom thing.
And it was super
Adam's
fun.
there too. Oh, we had a great time.
Yeah, talking to Adam and his co-host Rob DiCristino. TV's Rob.
TV's Rob. Rob is on, I don't know if it's Good Day Philadelphia or Good Morning Philadelphia. He's based in the Philadelphia area, and he goes on like a couple of times a month to recommend movies.
Yes.
So if you're in the Philly area, that's who it is.
Yes, and but we had such a good time, as we always do with the F This Movie folks. And Adam will be on our show next week to talk about The Crush.
So that's getting a 30th anniversary, right?
Yes.
So is Grumpy Old Men.
Good
doing a big
timing
thing in Minnesota. I know, right? So I can't believe it's been 30 years.
I feel
so fucking old.
I feel like a grumpy old lady.
I feel like I'm like Ann-Margret's age, like she was in this movie. I was like, oh my God.
How can we make a grumpy old lady movie? Maybe we should start writing that shit.
Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are doing their best.
You know what? That's a good point. They're
doing their best, but people need to pick up the slack because we need more of that.
We need more grumpy old ladies. You know what? Okay, sidetrack. I did finish Poker Face, the first season of Poker Face, which I loved.
It's great.
Loved.
Yep.
So good. But so there was the one episode with Charlie Cale's characters working in like an old folks home, basically. And the two older ladies that are there, it's Judith Light and the woman from Law and Order.
Esapatha
yes.
Merkson. Mm-hmm.
And they were so good in those parts.
Fucking hilarious.
I didn't want them to be like the bad guys in the movie. Like, well, I wanted more of them. I was like, could we have a spin-off series that's just them? Because they're so good.
They're so funny. They're so evil in the end.
Yes, they're super evil at the end. But like all the stuff before that's so good.
Well, with Columbo, which is what the show is kind of an homage to, and which was one of my mom's favorite shows of all time. And you can watch this on Peacock right now.
Yes.
They usually they do the crime at the top. The whole point of the show is watching him get to there, right? Because the person always lies to him and he figures it out in the end. And if you watch it on Peacock, it goes right into season 1, episode 1 of Columbo, which is like 1970, which was Steven Spielberg's like big TV gig, which got him Duel, which made him a directing star.
Amazing.
And it's a really good episode, and it's got a lot of Spielberg touches, which is 24 when he did it. It's unbelievable.
That's bananas. He's a baby.
So that's all there. He was a baby, and he admits it. Like, and so he loved TV. He loved doing TV movies. It's like that's where I learned things.
Yeah. But Poker Face is really great, and
really great.
I really, really enjoyed that. And I've seen a lot of fan art on like Twitter and stuff of people making different like movie style posters for like the different episodes of Poker Face. It's really, really great. I'm glad that people are having so much fun with it and that they're going to do more, because it's
really successful apparently. Like Peacock is really killing it right now. I haven't been watching it, but Real Housewives of Miami, that's going to be like that'll be a day binge for me.
Yeah.
Just to watch Martina Navratilova's wife like go nuts is a real hoot. These women are incredible. Like they've had so much plastic surgery, and they're really over the top and flamboyant and super fun. But they had like some really good documentaries there and stuff. I'm going to watch the Hulu documentary. I do have my People magazine. Yes, I do get People magazine.
It's because People magazine is dope, as we talk about on What a Creep all the time. We always go to People magazine. Always. We
use them for articles and for research, so I do have a subscription here. I can't get to the point. There's a Hulu show, and it's about, it's the Boston Strangler, and it stars Keira Knightley. I'm going to watch that tonight.
Yes, that's on my list.
That's on my list, so I'm definitely going to check that out. Yeah, movie called Moving On. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin are up to no good. That sounds like my jam. That
could be everything that stars Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin right now.
Grace and Frankie? Hilarious.
I watch it sometimes. I don't watch it consistently, but I am slowly watching it. And every time I watch it, I'm like, why am I not watching this? And then I'll watch like a bunch of episodes, and then I will get distracted by something shiny and new, and we'll stop watching it. And then I'll pick it back up. And every time I watch it, I love it.
Jane Fonda, what is she, 89? Like she's just had cancer.
She looks amazing.
She looks amazing. She's unstoppable. They're funny as shit. That's gonna be on my list too. And also Daisy Jones and the Six.
Yes, I'm an episode behind on that one, but one is real good, and I'm seeing the songs are like making their way around social media, and that makes me happy because I think the songs are real good too.
They're pretty good. I was pretty surprised, especially when they create new music for a show. It's not always top drawer.
No, it's like, how do you talk to an angel?
Oh, God, that song. That was a thing.
Oh, it's always a problem.
The Heights?
The Heights, exactly. It's always a problem when they create a fictional band and then the music sucks, but they're supposed to be super talented and great.
The hottest thing ever.
Yeah, like that's why I loved That Thing You Do. That song is really, really catchy. And that
could have been a hit in the 60s.
For sure. And like it makes sense. And you're like, I can see why this would be like a one-hit wonder. Or what do they call them? They're the Wonders, right? And then the guy's like, that's the Oneaters to you, or something like that, because they spell it like without the W, so it looks like one, like wonders, and it's Oneaters. Anyway, always makes me laugh. Side note, Steve's on.
Side note,
Steve's on in And that thing you do always makes me laugh. That's Oneaters to you.
He's really good. He's always good too, and whatever he's in.
Exactly. My friend, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me, on Twitter, Brooklyn Margot. I'm on Instagram at Brooklyn Fit Chick. My site is brooklynfitchick.com. All my stuff's there. And also on the TikTok. And on the TikTok, I've been putting lots of movie clips and like stuff we're covering and stuff I'm into. And it's been really fun. It's been catching on. So if you're on the TikTok, please follow me, Margot Donahue.
And you can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram and the TikTok, where I just put up stuff about my dogs or my kid or Pedro Pascal because I want to fit in. If you like the show, you can find Dorking Out Show wherever you listen to your podcasts. So you're listening right now. Maybe you'd like to give us a couple stars. That would be amazing. We'll give you a shout out. We're also at dorkingoutShow.com and Dorking Out Show on Twitter, and you could even go to our Facebook if you want, but that's where people go to complain about our language. And we take requests. So if you have requests, tag us on your social media of choice. Send us a request. Let us know what you want us to dork out about. You can email us at dorkingoutShow@gmail.com. And if you want, give us your address and we'll send you some stickers. And when I say we, I mean Margot. Margot will send you some stickers.
Happy to.
She's happy to. I'm glad that this was your birthday pick, my friend. This is a delightful movie. Excellent choice.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm super glad it held up. And I don't know, I was farting like razor blades.
I'm going to go take the skin boat to Tuna Town.
Burger.
He's in. He's in. Looks like he's going to enter the Holy of Holies. Coitus uninterruptus. Well, I throw back what I'm not going to eat.
Oh, yeah, like that 40-pound muskie you're always yakking about. It's a shame that your uncle has a fish market on 23rd Street and 14th Avenue.
26th Street, you dummy.
You schmuck.
Yeah, it looks like Chuck Slippener, the old...
Oh, hello. Hello. I'm Ronald Reagan. I used to be president of the United States. I live across the street over there. I was also in the movies for a while. I was a lousy actor.
Looks like Chuck's gonna put the hot dog in the bun.
That's why I came down.
Well, spit it out.
Well, don't shout at me.
I'm not shouting.
Much might took us to get here on New Year's Eve or Christmas or whatever the is. And,
It looks like Chuck's a tomcat on the prowl. Yow. I got a pinch sciatica and make your lumbago look like ice tray.
hey, does he, will he, is he?
Yes, he is. Looks like Chuck's taking the old log to the beaver. If you hadn't had Amy, then if you were stuck with the fern glide, you put your crevice out in the front of it.
I sacrifice.
Thank
you, Shana. I can't carve the color.
Yeah, it looks like Chuck's taking the skin boat to Tuna Town. Looks like Chuck's taking a ride in the wild baloney pony. Who left?
If I knew there was a nude scene in this picture, I would have asked for another $1 million.
Light it.